All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. We're going to take a look at GTII, and man, it really was all about Monday. I genuinely believe Tuesday and today's Wednesday action could have really been avoided if you just look. This isn't financial advice, you know that, right? But Monday's failure, which we'll talk about shortly, I mean, very easily dictated the next 2 days. You know what I mean? And look, we're obviously under the 8 moving average. We're still under the 20. A bunch of things that are not necessarily good are happening here. But again, before we get into more of the details of what are we going to do today, same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, share this video everywhere you can. Just comment anything, whether you agree, disagree, it's all good, right? Anything you can do really does help with the YouTube algorithms, but I swear, literally just being here and giving me your time is way more than I can even ask for. So thank you for that, all right? And then you know I'm not perfect. I'm not all-knowing. There's no crystal ball telling me what tomorrow's going to look like. So yeah, if you disagree with anything, please throw it in the comments, okay? Let's get to it just really quick. I'll tell you, my Webull is showing 160 flat. This one's showing 162. I'm not exactly sure why. For me, I kind of don't think that 2 cents matters because either number is below the 8, right? The 8 is at 163, almost 164 rounded. If this is correct or the 160 is correct, we're still under the 8, which is not good. But again, for me, if you watched the video over the weekend, what I said was there is just really no way we're going to get through these 3 lines, all right? Obviously, it could happen, but my answer really was, look, we need to open above it. We need a gap above the lines, and you can see we opened at 184. The 20 was at 182, 183 round. It literally opened above the lines. However, that open was also the high of the day. It literally never went a cent higher, and it just went down from there, right? And ultimately, we do not close over the 20. We do not close over the 200. We don't even close over the 50. Sorry to zoom in and out so many times, but did we even take the 50? Yeah, we took the 50. That's cool. Again, end of the day, taking one really doesn't matter when you have these next, like I'm telling you, the stacking of the moving averages matters so much in my trading decision, all right? And yeah, I hate clusters. I barely like when there's 2 lines. When there's 3 or more, I officially call that a cluster. And yeah, it tried to gap it up. It just couldn't. Obviously, this day closes at 177. The day before, the Friday, closed at 174. So this was a green day. But I sincerely hope if you're using my stack here, which again, there's a video that shows you how to replicate this entire thing, you would have known that this was a bad good day. And again, for real, you would have known that this was going to happen. Because yeah, if you can't fail it here, it was gonna, again, there's nothing guaranteed, right? I don't want to make it sound like once this happened it was 100,000% sure. Obviously this could have happened and could have gone back up, bunch of news could have happened, whatever, right? But generally speaking, if you're gonna fail something like this, the follow through is probably gonna happen just like it did here. And now again, what worries me is we're under the 8. So at this point, what am I expecting? Maybe 50% candle, but let's be honest, I'm probably expecting this thing to come down to 145. That's pretty much the last moving average, and it pretty much lines up exactly with our support line right there, right? So maybe this like 153, give or take, will catch it. Roughly speaking, you can almost say the wick ran to 50% candle already, right? Like again, I'm not here doing the math to find out what the exact measurement is and boom, but yeah, give or take, that's what I'd call 50%, and that's pretty much what we wicked, right? So yeah, honestly, I see one, and again, let's look down here, right? MACD is now in the negative. I see red over green. This RSI, look, 30 obviously says oversold, but in my head, I mean, damn, it hasn't been that long, but I know that we've talked, this one is a 9 RSI right here. This was a 17 and then a 14, and like this, it's lived in the teens down here, right? For a pretty long time, actually. So this 30 doesn't tell me that it's oversold. And just remember, we never got back over, even if I just extended this thing, right? We never got back. Oh, let me lower it just a little bit to keep that corner right there. Couldn't get back over the better side of the trend line, right? And at this point, what I'm now seeing is we're now just starting to form a downtrend is really what's happening, right? So I guess the very last thing I would say here before I move to the weekly, look what we're doing now. It seems like we're oscillating on this 100 moving average line. We fail it, we go up, we go down, we crack it. It kind of seems like we're going to oscillate, if I had to guess, along this 100 line. And what I don't like is it seems like this 100 line is going to keep going down as we're oscillating, right? There was a moment, I think I thought that we were oscillating on this 50. Yeah, kind of. Maybe it was a different stock, whatever. Nonetheless, I'm kind of seeing it take a real big liking to this blue line. I just don't like that the blue line's going down. So again, I have no new horizontal lines to make. We have to get over all of these. If you want to set an alert, maybe we lower this line. I think that might be worth doing. Let's lower you. Where do I want to put you? Right there. I like that. The top of that. I think 185 is maybe a decent place. If you want maybe a little safer an entry, I think this would be a little safer, this 196, which I think is where the last line was, if I'm not mistaken. Nonetheless, I think it is worth lowering it just a little bit to kind of reset where a possible entry would be. And again, I think this is a much sexier channel than any of this noise right here that we're in. So again, I see 145 more than likely. And honestly, I'm looking at this 145 line. I guess it's the top of this. Maybe it'll be a strong line. But yeah, I don't know if maybe losing 145 could be a quick drop to 102. It does look like this line's done a little bit too. So you know what? I'm talking way too much. Let's focus on 145, all right? Or 185. These are the two next numbers I think are important. Where's the weekly at? Man, again, I talked about this over the weekend as well. We smashed 1, 2, 3. I don't know if we smashed the fourth one. We did. We smashed all 4 moving averages on one single candle. This was supposed to at least go right here to give me a sincere belief that confirmation was real. This is definitely kind of telling me, look, obviously, so hopefully some silly things happen tomorrow and Friday. I'm not here to hope, right? That's not what I do with my hard-earned money, right? So yeah, I'm a little worried, I'll be honest with you. So 185 I think is where I would for sure think about an entry. I don't even think that that's a guaranteed buy yet, right? But yeah, getting over these moving averages, being here, I think is a little close. Again, there's no such thing as a guaranteed buy or a safe thing, right? But I think as you start getting into $2, you'll at least get yourself back on the better side of the trend and clearly be well over all these lines. And again, don't forget, I haven't said the words in a while, but there is still this horizontal cluster thing happening, right? We have not broken away from all the lines. So again, I think it goes back to the closer you can wait for 2, I think the better for your money. And honestly, this 240 line is probably the real money line. I would, again, different risk reward tolerances, right? But just a couple things happening here. Bunch of moving averages. You want to get back up on the better side of the trend line. So 185 I think would be the earliest consideration in my book. Hey, I appreciate your time so much. Let me know if you disagree with anything. And yeah, I didn't mention the divvies at all because again, that's very old news in my opinion. So have a great one.